Happy New Year and welcome to the Brac drink. Cheers. Happy New Year. Oh, I hope you're all still there. I'm a bit late. Got home and I fell asleep. Oh, I'm just so exhausted, but the year will be bringing on new energies. I'm sure of it. I can feel it. It's really good. And it depends on what you feel, I believe. So how are you all? I see some of you have already arrived. And we've got the doctor, we've got She-Wolf, we've got Wolf Pup. Thank you so much for popping along. I don't think we'll get anyone in the UK. It's after midnight now in the UK. Doctor who's traveling around in his TARDIS. It's 22:02 for him. What's the world like, Doctor? Waldo. Doctor who's Waldo? I'm just having a quick look at all the comments as we go down. How are you all feeling today? Did you party up late last night? And of course, it's a lot earlier over there than what it is over here. So maybe the effects haven't worn off yet. Oh, this is nice. Thanks, She-Wolf. She-Wolf says, Happy New Year, Tom. Thank you. Gummies is all I need for that extra burst of speed. I usually have an energy drink, but you could also have another drink because there's a lot of sugar in drinks as well. I think my screen's a lot smaller. One extreme to the other. I'm just adjusting my screen, and I'm going from very small to quite big, and I'm really lost. That's a bit better. That's what I had before, but oh man, I think it's the best I'm going to do at the moment. Okay, getting back. 22:02 is rubbish. Do tell. What's everyone wearing? Michael, welcome back. And I believe you're a UK. It's midnight. What are you doing up? I suppose the time difference. If you were up all night last night partying, this is still in your same time system. So welcome, Michael. And Happy New Year. Thanks, Doctor. And we've got Popcorn Percy. Hi, Popcorn. Happy New Year. We haven't seen you for a while. It's nice to have you back. Hey, friends. It's just that I can't read the thing because my screen's gone so small. Doc is taking speed. Well, no comment. Happy New Year, Wolf Pup. Thank you. And hiya, Mike on Percy from the Doctor. Oh, I thought we were almost caught up, but we're not. Not yet. Pup, maybe later. Are you going out, Doctor, later on? Otherwise, no point. Have a good rest. Hiya, Doctor from Michael. And hiya, Michael and Percy from She-Wolf. And I think we're all catched up with all the hellos. It doesn't look like we've got Natalie here today. Well, it is midnight over here. And we don't have Kelly either. But then again, it is midnight as well. Nice to see you, Tom. Best wishes for 2022. Thank you, Michael. Best wishes to you too. And how are we all feeling with the new year? I've got really good vibes about it, so I'm quite enthusiastic. I'm glad 2021 has gone. Mind you, I must say 2021 has been quite kind to me. I've managed to get through it. I didn't think how I would this time last year, but we've got through it. And I'm really grateful for 2021. And it's a kickstart for 2022, I feel. And I don't know what's going to happen, but I just feel some good things are going to start. And what did you do, guys, last night? I kind of long story short, I didn't do anything. I was by myself with the movies and my bubbly and snacks. I was a very indulgent sort of New Year's Eve, but very a quiet one though. So what did you guys get up to? Do tell. I'm unimpressed so far with the new year. It's not even 24 hours. Give it time. That's what I would say. Okay. And do say what's happened so far, Wolf Pup, that you're unimpressed? And as I say, give it time. It's a bit early yet, I would think. Lots of love from Pup. Lots of love, or was it laugh out loud, Pup? So she was probably laughing. We had this comment. Was it last week we had this comment? I thought LOL was lots of love, but it's obvious, as in when you're having a conversation and you don't want to offend and you're spreading a bit of love into the conversation. That's what I thought. And everyone's telling me it's laugh out loud. Well, yes, and the doctor says it's just started. I agree. Popcorn Percy had tub wine last night. What's tub wine? Homemade wine, or something made in the bathtub. Where's that come from? Wasn't that bathtub drinks? Was that like punch or something made in the bathtub, and everyone just fills their glasses from the bathtub? Actually, I remember I used to go to parties and they would fill the bathtub with ice, and everyone would put their bottles of drinks that they would bring to the party in the bathtub. My goodness, that brings back memories. Yeah, thank you for the memories. So do elaborate, Percy, on what's tub wine. It's a bit suspicious. Michael says, I just got to think positive and never give up for this new year. Think positive and forget about it and just let it unveil. Because I really think that's the secret. Because actually a friend bought my book, actually. And as you know, I've got a book out, Little Book of Manifesting. And she got me to sign it, which was very flattering. And so so I signed it, and I was thinking, well, what do I write? And it came to me as when you ask the universe. And I totally believe, put it out there and forget about it. So yeah, just think positive, put it out there and forget about it, and it will unveil itself to you. That's what I really believe. And it's very hard to put into practice, because if you're wanting something, you're always thinking about it, aren't you? So it's a fine line of putting it out there, working towards it, and not thinking about it, or not caring about it anyway. Wolfpup says, stressful day. I know. What is that? Just before midnight over here, and I saw Betty White's gone. That was a bit of a bummer, but she was celebrating New Year's in heaven, if you want to look at it that way, let's say. Yeah, but that's yeah, that was a bit of a disappointment. I was really disappointed. Also, does anyone know what she died of, passed away from? Because I couldn't find that anywhere. Mind you, I didn't really spend that much time looking. I was a really bit too busy with other things. Popcorn Percy says, me and my buddies threw a bunch of fruit in the tub for a few days and let it ferment. Well, that's how you make wine, isn't it? And yeah, I totally agree. In fact, sometimes I've tried some out-of-date orange juice, and it's fermented, and it's really has that tang to it, and it's really has that hit, and it's really quite nice. And I thought, oh, should I try it? Should I not try it? But I did try it, and I wasn't sick. So that's something, drinking out-of-date orange juice. So I think it's the same sort of thing. Yes, everyone feels bad that Betty White has passed. I know. In a way, she was like the long bit of Hollywood, but more like TV side of it, because she did obviously get into the TV side of things, Betty White. And she was around in the 50s with her own show and stuff. Who would believe? Is tub wine like garbage can liquor party? I think it depends on how it's processed. And that's a question from the doctor. Wolf Pup says, I think tub wine is like prison wine. As I said, I think it's the process. Yeah, if you do it up nicely, I think think you probably get a good taste of it. But if you just dump it into the bathtub, but then again, that might be that extra special taste to it from the bathtub. Except they use a tub instead of the toilet. Ooh, let's move on, I think. Lick. Look. Lick. Oh, well. She was 99. It was time. Oh, doctor, really? You're a time lord. You should know better. 99 is nothing. I would have liked it if she hit 100. I tell you, if I reach 90, I want to make it out the other side at over 100. I can tell you that. Yeah, well, that's what I think. It's a bit like Doris Day. Well, how old was she? 98 or 96 or something? And I said I'd like to have seen her make it to 100, and people just don't understand. I just think it's like a milestone. And in the UK, if you're part of the Commonwealth, the Queen sends you well, today she sends you a letter on your 100th birthday. Although I think I'll probably have somebody else sending me a letter when I reach 100. Unless she's outstanding and she lives a lot longer for me to turn 100. She-Wolf says, all I want to know is how clean are these tubs prior to the winemaking? Exactly. Actually, I think I know people that have bought tubs, which wouldn't... Why are we thinking bathtubs? Because to be honest, I don't think bathtubs was mentioned. It was tubs. And that's right. Goes back to high school. They would make the punch in these great big tubs. And these were more like plastic storage tubs. Oh no, they were plastic garbage bins. You know, the round garbage bins with the plastic top that you put on and swivel to lock it in. That's what they used to make the punch out of. Of course, they were brand new garbage bins. They weren't used as garbages and then used. Yes, I know your tub wine now. Yes. Yeah, we used to do that at school. Well, it was for the school dance or something, but it was all, of course, non-alcoholic and non-alcoholic, like sangria without the alcohol. Like the tubs you use for horse water. I don't know, probably not, unless it's before the horses got to it. Tom, write this down and YouTube it later. Liz Parrish, regeneration. Okay then. Oh, where's my pen? Quickly came over here, and Christmas and New Year's just run into one because I'm I was thinking, well, what did you all have for lunch and dinner? And that was Christmas last week. It's the week hasn't been too fast, hasn't been too slow, but it's gone. And I know I was just so busy trying to get things done with other things. And today's been a very long, hectic day. I have sangria in a box. Yes, exactly. And it's quite a good way of making the sangria in a tub or something like that as well. And but guys, what did you do last night? What did you get up to? Did you go out? I think did the doctor say you stayed home and was quiet? Did anyone party? Wolf Pup, did you party out late? Did you make the most of it? And as I said, I had a quiet night at home. Cheers. Hopefully my year won't be as quiet, but good. Not too busy, just right. A Goldilocks New Year when everything is just right. For your interest, Liz Parrish is using gene therapy to reverse the aging process. Oh, you're going into science, doctor. Yes, that's good. There is lots of things scientific-wise that can actually halt the aging process and even reverse it. I've seen a few things if you want to get into the science side of it, and which is a bit like the radio waves and high frequency energy waves, because what they're doing is stimulating the cells in the skin. This is only from what I've touched on, so don't quote me verbatim on this, but it stimulates the cells in the skin, in the upper layers of the skin. And like collagen, it gets them to reproduce the collagen again. And people begin to get younger, look younger, because they're getting their collagen back, which is basically a lot of what youthful skin is. It's a lot of collagen. And apparently as people get older and they get to a certain age, all of a sudden the collagen production slows down and stops. And people begin to look older. And yeah, and that is the same thing. So I will look forward to watching Liz Parrish and her reverse aging processes. Wolf Pup says, we stayed at home and had a little drink and watched a show. A bit like me, actually. And yeah, we did the same thing. And I just had too much on. I had a job yesterday. I had a job today. And very short on funds and not really knowing what was going on with the parties last night, whether we were going to have lockdown, not lockdown, or, well, not so much as a lockdown, but a tightening on regulations on what you could do and what you couldn't do. So I just didn't bother. Michael says, every year, Christmas and New Year just flies by so quick. I stayed home with my wife and little boy. Yeah, good on you. I think this year was more of a family-orientated festive season where people are staying home and spending time with the family, which is, I think it's good if you could, because I knew in the UK we had lockdown, full-on lockdown sprung on us like a week before Christmas, which was really bad. And they didn't want people visiting family for lockdown. They brought it down to like one or two of the bubbles, so to speak. So one or two family members together, which was, well, just to stop the spread. And it was a different situation. I think the disease was different a year ago, and it was a bit more dangerous. But and I was thinking, like, some people say, oh, I'm not going to visit the grandparents because I don't want to, in case, spread the disease to them, which is fair enough. And I know one of our neighbors, actually, and she was 94, and she went and visited her son and his family. And I thought, oh, you shouldn't really. But then I thought, well, maybe you never know what could happen during the year. And I kept an open mind. And she obviously went and spent Christmas with her son and his family. And you know what? I'm glad she did. Because it was there, it's tiny. It wasn't like a great big party. But it was so she was there. She was with the kids. It was Christmas, and it was nice. And because, you know, the fear of that is that they can catch something and they won't be around for the next year. But the strange way of fate was that I'm glad she spent Christmas with her family, because like 6 months later, she got diagnosed with cancer, and 3 months later, she was gone. And I'm thinking, well, if she stayed isolated by herself on Christmas, that would have been her last Christmas, and it would have been by herself. But this way, she did spend Christmas with her son and his family, and it was a family Christmas because she just wasn't around this year to spend Christmas with them in person. She might be in spirit, but in person. So in a way, I don't know, there's no right or wrong. You just have to be responsible and sensible in that sense. That's what I say. And I think a lot of people, especially this year, have been like, you asked, what did you do for Christmas? A lot of people have been spending it with family. And it's just getting back to the old tradition of Christmas, I find. She says, I stayed home and watched the ball drop in New York City. Oh, you know, I very rarely watch that, and I should. But do tell, what is this ball dropping? And Is it a light ball? Does it really drop from that tall building? Is it dangerous? Is there anyone underneath? But yeah, I know that's a really famous tradition in New York. And I don't know why I never really watch any replays of it. Is there fireworks as well? Because I tell you what, I watched the Sydney fireworks. And personally, I think the New Year's Eve Sydney fireworks is one of the best fireworks in the world. They do it on the harbour, over the Sydney Harbour Bridge. And just the timing, the choreography of it, it's just, I really enjoy those fireworks, I must admit. Nick's here. Hi, Nick. Happy New Year. This is the year. And Nick says hi to everyone. High vitamin C helps your body produce collagen. Really? Wolf pup? I've never heard that because they say collagen. I can't. Don't quote me. But they say you should get collagen, and they've got all these tablets now where you can take. I mean, a lot of it comes from fish. And being a vegetarian, well, that blows that away because you don't want to eat anything from the fish. But vitamin C is good for you anyway. I think I'll have to start boosting up my vitamin C. Thank you for that, Wolf Pup. Hiya, Mr. Nichols from the doctor. Hello, Dick from She-Wolf. Oh, and Michael says, I was expecting a lockdown by now in England, weren't we? But we are the only ones with a few minor restrictions. My wife is a nurse, and I'm so proud of her and the rest of the NHS staff. That's the National Health Service. For those not in the country and doesn't know what NHS stands for. That's like our medical health service, you could say. Yeah. Here's to your wife and all the NHS staff around the country. They've done a lot. And I mean, it's a bit different now, but like 18 months ago when we didn't know how this disease was and how it operated, and for you guys to be in the same room with other people with that, and you're very brave, and I do commend you on it. Thank you, all the NHS staff watching, if there's any. I don't know if your wife is watching, Michael. Maybe you're watching this. She probably thinks I'm an idiot. But thank you, Michael, and congratulations to your wife and all the other NHS staff in the country for all the work they do, and probably also for all the medical staff around the world who is actually fighting this disease and helping so many people as well. Thank you. Ow, I'm going to change my position. Yes, and as for lockdown, I think our Prime Minister is waiting to after the 1st before he announces any other restrictions. That's what I was told. But we'll see. And I personally don't think it's any point to bring in a lockdown. Maybe some restrictions. We've already got some restrictions here, like we have to wear masks in shops and public transport and in big venues like theaters. But there's no point. I find there's no point because so many people have caught COVID, and it's not the disease it was 18 months ago. People are getting flu-like symptoms and getting better. And so many people have caught it already. And I think it's pointless to do a lockdown because if so many people have caught it, there's no point because you can catch it again, but wouldn't be that likely people will catch it that quickly. And also it's what was I going to say? It's gone, but it will come back. I'll bring it up. So yeah, I think it's just keeping some people happy. I don't think we'll have a lockdown. Maybe a few more restrictions, but even that, I don't think so. Popcorn Percy says, oh, the puberty talk. Yes. I think we're talking about the tub wine or the tub sangria, the tub punch. Yes, the good old days. I watched the fireworks in London earlier in the day too. I didn't see the London fireworks. I didn't think we were getting London fireworks. Do comment, Michael, if I thought they were saying we weren't going to have fireworks. If it's the Trafalgar Square fireworks and along the river because they were going to say that it would get too many people into town and they didn't want to attract it, so there weren't going to be any fireworks. But I could be wrong. And apparently I think they did that last year as well. They said they weren't, and someone said they did have it. But there you go. I didn't know, but I'll see if I can find them later on. See She-Wolf, your British showing. I don't think I read that right. I'm not quite sure I understood it. So maybe you want to elaborate. Oh, I get it. It's like, see She-Wolf, your British is showing. It's all the way in the reading of it. Thank you. Michael says he didn't see any fireworks, just a light up a building. Or maybe they just shined one of those. There is a word for it when they shine projections onto a building. It's some sort of art, and projected art probably. Maybe that's what they did. But She-Wolf said she saw some fireworks. So I don't know. But yeah, and I don't think there was that many people out last night in town, because I was in the West End around maybe 4:30, 5 o'clock. And in previous years, it's getting chockers and police are out to look after the crowd. And in the last few years before COVID, you had to pay to come into town, as in they would barricade the whole section off and you had to pay something like £10, which would probably be like maybe $11 or $12 in America, to be able to get into this area. So you're able to access Trafalgar Square to see the fireworks and that sort of thing. And you couldn't get in unless you had a ticket. But there was none of that. And there wasn't that many people around either. So I think everyone just wanted to head off home for a quiet one. Where are we? She-Wolf says, please excuse Doc's last comment. It's the tub wine talking. Okay. Michael says, I was under the impression London was going to do... What? I was under the impression London was going to do any. Too worried about lots of people and overcrowding. I think you meant London wasn't going to do anything. Yes, I agree too. I think that's the whole thing, because they didn't want to attract people into town and breathing each other's air in confined spaces, even though it was outside. So I think that I agree with you, Michael. I think the same thing. She says the news station shows the fireworks from various places in the world as the time changes, like Sydney and Moscow and Athens, etc. Oh, is that the one you saw? Is that the one on YouTube? Because I was watching one that was similar to that as well. And I saw New Zealand, which I might think it might have been Auckland. Then there was Sydney. And there was big gaps between the time because they're on the hour, obviously, as we traveled around. But I didn't see... Oh, actually, I was watching something like that on that channel, which was live. And I think it was the Daily Telegraph. No, it was the Telegraph. And they did have something at midnight here, but I don't know if that was London. I couldn't actually pinpoint which city it was. And because it was really flat as well, the land looked flat and there's fireworks going up in the air. So I'm really not quite sure if it was London. From what I was watching, I don't know if you were watching the same thing or not. The Dick says, in non-English speaking countries, people used to ask, have you learned your British? Oh. That rings a bell for some reason. I don't know. Maybe they're thinking of British RP. RP? I think, or PR. British PR. I can't remember. Oh, my mind. Because it's supposed to be like oh, I know, that's gone. RP recessive pronunciation or something. And it's the way all the old English actors used to talk. They always used to talk very proper, and everything up to about the 1960s, they all used to talk really proper English, and that was pronounced resuscitation. It's not resuscitation. Recitation that they would teach in the drama schools, and everyone spoke the uniformed way. It's a bit like how America in the 1920s, everyone on radio and TV spoke Midwest, had a Midwest accent because they thought that was the standard accent. Of course, today everyone speaks with a lot of acceptable different accents. And mainly it was Midwest because it was radio. And to get the radio signal across the country, they used to place it in Chicago, which was the closest to the center of the country, and broadcast it across the country. And that was the Midwest accent, and that became the standardized accent for a very long time. For you older folk, if you know Clara Bow, she was she was the it girl in the 20s. And they were transitioning to sound, and she was dreading it because she used to talk with the Brooklyn accent, and which wasn't very Midwestern standard American accent. And she used to dread the whole idea of sound coming in. In fact, she was on Paramount, and they were building the sound stage, getting ready for the talkies, and the sound stage went up in flames. Well, actually, no, it didn't. There was a fire on Paramount, and she ran out of her dressing room and she looked to see where the fire was, and someone heard her say, "Oh my gosh, I hope it's the sound stage on fire," because she was dreading that, on how well she would adapt to the talkies. Because a lot of quite a few actors were really scared, because a lot of them, though they look great, had really wrong voices for the persona they had. Like men would have like high voices, which wasn't the sort of thing, because you expect big, burly action man to have a deep, strong voice and not something quite high up. And some of them lost their careers over it because it didn't come across with the talkies. Yeah, so getting back to PR, that's I've lost the comment. British English as opposed to American English. Oh, have you learnt your British? That is so true. And it is, I've found that people that I've lost half the comments here. Here we go. Got that comment. Do you know you're British? Well, that's actually quite interesting, because I know like a lot of the Asian countries, and you get a lot of people that speak with an American accent or a British accent, and they say that depends on who their teacher is. If their teacher's an American teaching them English, they end up with an American accent. And if there's a British person teaching them English, they end up with an English accent. So that does make sense. In non-English speaking countries, people used to ask, have you learnt your British? For the British accent. I get it now. Thank you. Thank you. The Italian fireworks is just amazing with the lasers. Oh, that's interesting, with the lasers. I think Sydney did have lasers a few times, but I don't think they did last night. Nick said they may not ask it that way anymore. I don't even, yeah, I agree. I don't think people really realize it, really, with that. And Popcorn Percy says, we used to shoot off fireworks all the time until the trash can caught fire and rolled away. So you don't have a trash can anymore? Or you're too scared? Why don't you do it at home? Are you allowed to light fireworks at home? Because I thought fireworks was banned, but you get so many kids around here lighting fireworks on, well, obviously Guy Fawkes night, but Christmas and New Year's and any other time they want you, really. Speaking Cockney, English is practically another language. I know it is. Not to mention all the other accents. And there are some accents you just can't understand. And the Scots, I can usually understand Scottish, but there's a region in Scotland where you can't understand them. I can't understand, because one of the banks here actually for a while employed Scottish people, because they had a phone room up in Scotland somewhere. And everyone that spoke it had such a strong Scottish accent, I couldn't even understand it. And it was so frustrating on the phone as you're trying to talk to this person with a strong Scottish accent, and you couldn't understand it. I wanted to cry after I got off the phone. But apparently, a lot of standard Scottish accents the Americans don't understand, because I've heard that Scottish films that have been shown in America had to actually have subtitles underneath it because people couldn't understand what the Scots were saying. And Cockney is a different way of talking as well. In fact, Cockney doesn't really exist anymore. It's evolved, and I think the closest we've got to Cockney these days is East London, really. East London accent, and they talk like that with, I'm no good at it, but they, and it's like evolved with the Caribbean, so to speak, because they'll talk with bro, how you going, bro, and all that sort of thing, and that's evolved with a lot of the Cockney speak. Doctor, thank you. Renounce pronunciation, RP, thank you. Renounce. And Dick says British English as opposed to American English. Yes, that's the comment I clicked on. So, and that makes sense. And thank you for that. I started with British English myself. And Dick, are you American? Or are you here? Or are you somewhere else? Because I thought you're American. So I thought you would have grown up with American English. She-Wolf says, I think 99% of my English is slang. I don't know. I haven't heard you speak. But I tell you what, the English don't speak English. And because, well, to be honest, I probably grew up with a lot of American from American TV. And you get over here and you see words and they don't pronounce them properly. And someone told me, and then it made sense why. It's like I'm talking about like words like Bournemouth and Leicester, as in Leicester Square, and there's a few others. I was going to say, no, I won't say that. But, well, we have a city in Australia called Brisbane. And a lot of Americans who come to Australia will call it Brisbane. And because they're reading it, how we've been taught to read words, Brisbane. But we all call it, the English all call it Brisbane. And that's exactly the same sort of typical thing as the other words like Monmouth. And this is Mouth, which is really Monmouth, or I can't think of anything else. But that's what I can think of, Monmouth, or I'm just thinking of another word with a mouth in it. But the reason why the English pronounce their words totally different from the way it's written is because it's French. This country the UK spoke French for a very long time, and they're very much influenced by the French. And so basically, these are all French words spoken with an English accent, so to speak, because they're saying these French words with an English accent. And that's why it's Monmouth, because that's how the French would say Monmouth, Brisbane. And this is how we've been saying it. And that's why when we read it, from an American viewpoint, it should be Brisbane, which it's like Brisbane, like Bane, Brisbane. But it can't. We're saying it like the French would read it, Brisbane, and it's become to be Brisbane and Monmouth when it should be Monmouth. And actually, when you think about it, no, I won't go there. It's a totally different, wrong interpretation. So that's why a lot of the English words aren't pronounced the way it's written as we've learnt it. And Dick says, but then moved to the US. Oh, so you are English, Dick. And She-Wolf says, I just make up my own words. Well, that's how language evolves. A lot of people make up their own words, actually. US. Oh yeah, moved to the US. Got that one. Thanks, Dick. So you're English, Dick. And Percy said, well, the trash can rolled to a barn and caught on fire. I don't blame you. Well, don't blame them not allowing you anymore. So the whole barn burnt down. Did you have to pay for a new barn? My God, that's frightening. I'm glad you heard space and the barn was the only thing that burnt. My God, you burnt down the whole barn. I can't believe that. That's frightening. I'm glad no one was hurt. I watch. Oh, she will says you watch the Kilted Coaches. They are from Scotland and they are super easy to understand. Yeah, I can usually understand most Scottish people as well, but there is an area where obviously this group of Scots, their accent is so strong that you just can't understand them. I had trouble understanding them. And again, I suppose with the Americans, it depends on how they're familiar with the Scottish accent, because, as I said, people have said that the Americans just don't understand the accent and they've got to put subtitles. In fact, who was the girl? She went on to one of your US Got Talent, America's Got Talent or something. It had Simon Cowell and that girl. She's very attractive. But she's a Geordie. And if you don't know where, well, I'm not familiar either, but Geordie is, when you say someone's a Geordie, they come from like an area in the Midlands and their accent is a particular style. It's a bit like a cross between, obviously accents changes depending on where you move around the country. And so a Geordie accent is a bit like, it's from the Midlands, like Manchester, Liverpool, but more east, but yet it's not Yorkshire. And I'm just making this up now. But anyway, it's different. I can understand her on the TV. Obviously, the English people can understand her. But apparently on this talent show, like America's Got Talent, I don't know if it was that or not. Apparently, the Americans couldn't understand her. And so they had to take her off it. Very attractive, but no one could understand her. So unfortunately, she lost the job in the States. Michael says the Geordies, Scottish and Welsh, is such a very strong language. Yes, the Geordies, exactly. Just as I was talking about it. Thanks, Michael. Irish are hard to understand. Really? The Irish is basically what partly part of the American accent comes from, with a lot of the Irish who immigrated to America. And I think that's where a lot of American accents come from, the Irish. Wolf Pup says, oh, wow, Percy, we're animals in the barn. Oh, well, it's my reading. Wrong in it. Oh, it's obviously late here. Oh, wow, Percy, were animals in the barn? That's the way I should have said it. We've got obviously got two conversations going on here. Oh, where's my words? Dick says, I'm Swedish, but raised in the US. Oh, interesting. So you would have had a totally different English accent if you spoke English and not Swedish when you went to America, because don't the Swedish speak with their own particular sort of accent? Doctor Who says, it took me weeks to figure out, oh, don't go there. Aluminum or aluminium? Apparently, yeah. It's like, there's another one that people have two different ways of saying things. Is it tomato and tomato? Yeah, but yeah, aluminium and aluminum. Oh, no, I can't say it. Aluminum. Oh, aluminum. That's it. I think the Americans say aluminum. And Michael says, I've noticed the young people of today are now saying half the words instead of the full words. Yeah, that's how languages evolve. Yeah, because it just changes. And I agree totally. Yeah. And she was, I'm going to have Dick teach me key phrases in Swedish and use them as code words. Okay. Sounds very sneaky. And Dick says, I had a 3-month crash course in British English before my family to the US. You picked up English in 3 months. You're really good. I'm really bad with languages. And Michael says, I love the Cockney accent, but you don't hear anyone talk it anymore. It's because it's evolved. It's more East. It's really, I would say, it's turned into East London, really. And I suppose it's partly due to the wall, because that whole Cockney accent was really around the East London area. And when it was all bombed out during the war, people just moved away. They moved further east, some to the south, and it's all evolved, especially when we had the Africans and the Caribbean people invited to come into the UK to help rebuild the country, so to speak, and they brought their language or their accents as well. So that sort of like merged with the Cockneys. That's what I personally think, and that's why we get a bit of a sounding of the Cockneys, and a lot of people talking with that and calling you bro, meaning you, my brother. Yeah, so I think, yeah, the Cockney language has, or the Cockney accent has evolved, and I think the name for it that a lot of people refer to is more like East London accent. East London? I think so. I was very young when we moved to America. So yeah, and I suppose if everyone's speaking, you do pick it up a lot better. Today, I sound like, I don't know who that is. I don't even know how to pronounce it. So anyway, Dick's been told that he sounds like that man. If you can read that name under there. And Wolf Pup says, I like the Scandinavian accents. Yes. Although I suppose they have different accents as well, the Scandinavians. I keep, when you said you're from Sweden, I kept thinking of the Swedish chef on the Muppet Show. So I'm thinking of people talking like that. Oh, and oh my gosh, I'm all over the place tonight. I must be really tired because I completely forgot what I was going to say. Just reading through the notes because and Michael says, I still use the Cockney rhyming. Oh, sorry. I still use the Cockney rhyming slang, but no one knows what I mean. That's the whole idea of Cockney rhyming slang. For the Americans, if you don't know, the Cockneys had a special speak, so to speak. Sorry about the pun. Where they could talk amongst themselves, and people from outside their circle wouldn't know. Like my china plate, for instance. Yeah, like that's my china plate. Meaning, it isn't a plate. Tell me if I'm wrong, Michael, but I think my china plate meant my friend. And they could speak like that, and people would be oblivious to what they were saying. And I'm really hopeless with rhyming slang, Cockney rhyming slang with that. But yeah, that was a lot of people would talk like that in the past. I don't even know if people talk like that anymore. I think that was something in the past as well, like with the Cockneys. But some people will do it for fun, but I don't know if anyone actually speaks like that anymore. Wolf Pup says, ha ha ha, yes, the chefs. Yes. Lots of love, or laugh out loud at the Swedish chef. Yes. Actually, I'm thinking about the show. I don't really think he spoke any Swedish, did he? Really? He just made some Swedish sounds. I think the Swedish accent sounds like it's sort of British with something mixed in that I've never heard. Interesting, She Wolf. And I say interesting because you would have heard it from a different sort of years from the American side. So you're sort of like hearing it differently from the way we would hear it. And I think maybe the English actually came from a lot of the Swedish or the Scandinavian language, because didn't the Swedes all Scandinavian people came to Britain, as in, I don't know if they invaded, but weren't they here for a while? And then the French came, and the language evolved, because that's how languages evolved, by different mixtures of things. And they spoke Latin here for a long while. And I'm beginning to think maybe the Romans actually brought Latin in, because 2,000 years ago, Britain was invaded by the Romans, so they would have spoken Latin. And English is actually a language that has evolved from Latin and French and German, really. Me old China. Aka, China plate rhymes with mate. Plate, mate. Oh, yeah. I don't know. It's all that rhyming slang goes over my head. Maybe I just don't have the intelligence for it. Dick says my favorite actor is Michael Caine. He has a Cockney accent. He does indeed. Does he do all his shows with a Cockney accent, or does he modify it slightly for some of his shows? I don't know. I can't remember. But yes, when he started out, and that was one of the things in the 60s, the being able to speak your accent on television and in films, because it was a really avant-garde sort of thing, really. And yeah, just bringing everything out. Otherwise, for the rest of the world, we thought everybody spoke RP. Well, I did. Definitely until I came here anyway. She was says, I should learn how to say coffee in every language. Yes. I think it's kochi. Wait there. No, it's kohi. I said tea then. It's kohi. Kohi in Japanese is coffee. There you go, She-Wolf. I used to work in a restaurant. We used to have these tour groups, and we would get Japanese. And it was just easier when you came with a pot of tea and coffee, and you say kohi or kochi. I think I did that right. I hope so. And that would either mean coffee or tea. And then they start speaking to you in Japanese, because they think you can speak Japanese. And tosto is toast. There you go. China plate is mate. Yeah, meaning friend. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Michael. And Wolfpaw says, we have been practicing our Italian mafia accents. Is that Italian mafia in New York, or Italian mafia in southern Italy, in Naples or Sicily? And how do they? Oh, and I was going to say, and how do they sound? But of course, you can't tell me. Now, that's what I was going to say. Now, I was going to try the Zoom, for those of you here. I was going to try the Zoom, and I was getting it set up, and I was going to hook on. And then I thought I could get the link, but unless you're actually on Facebook, where the groups are, I suppose I could do it onto it'd be hard on Instagram. I can't actually put it up on YouTube for the link, because this comes up like I can schedule it, and it's because I'm doing it through StreamYard, and it gets hooked onto YouTube, and it sends it out there so people know I've got a live on at midnight, 10 o'clock UK time, whatever time. But I couldn't work that out with Zoom, and I'm talking, and I was running out of time because I've been on this project all day somewhere else, and so I came back and I was fiddling around. I thought it's going to be StreamYard again, so here I am with the StreamYard. Wolfhop says New York. I'm not that skilled. Haha. Oh, the New York Mafia. Are they still there? I thought they just disappeared. So we got to be careful of Marlon Brando's Godfather, do we? Interesting. So yeah, so I couldn't actually figure out the Zoom for our Zoom visual meeting that we spoke about last week at the Christmas special. So I still have to try and work something out as well. And did anyone make any She Wolf says, if Pup comes in here with the name Wolf Corleone, then we'll know we're in trouble. Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's a bit of a tongue twister again. My words or my mouth, I can see my mouth is really tired tonight. And I hope it's just tonight. It's really looking at the words and pronouncing them. What about put the Zoom link in the YouTube description to like redirect people? But I've got to actually have to have a clip up there to be able to put it in the description. And unless I do a special, like an ad, 30-second ad with the link down below, I could do it that way. And I was thinking of that, but it really means actually having to film something beforehand to get it out there. And at this stage, I don't know if I've got time because I'm so busy doing everything for so long. But that I might have to do it that way. Good thinking, Wolf Pup. She Wolf says that's the last name from the Godfather movies. Oh, really? I haven't seen any of the Godfather films. So I can't really comment. Oh, we've got a few people dropped off. I think it's past their bedtime. Oh, I suppose in the UK for Michael, it's it is after 1 o'clock in the morning. So we've got the diehards here. Thanks very much. But I think I'll let you go. Any New Year's resolutions? That's the word. Did anyone make any? Because I'm thinking New Year's resolutions, which people always say people don't bother keeping, which is true. It's all good intentions. Probably the drink helps that along, and people give up as the days go by. But that is really a bit like an affirmation or a manifestation, putting it out there that you're going to do things. You just got to put it out there in a way that you keep working at it and you can still achieve it and forget about it, as in it becomes a habit. Like, I'm going to go to the gym and get that body, and go to the gym and just keep working at it, and sort of like forgetting about it, like the need to do it, and just it becomes a way of life. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you go to the gym and you work out, and before you know it, you will get that manifested body that you're wanting. People are back. Must have been the internet, people dropping out and dropping in. I just typed in Brac shop on the YouTube search window and came straight here. Well, thank you, Dick. I'm so glad you did. Thank you. I thought you were friends of She Wolf and Wolf Pup and the Doctor, but I'm so glad you did. And you stopped by. I'm sure it was a different sort of shop than what you were expecting. But thank you. I'm really glad. Tell your friends and get them to join as well. At just. Sorry, Dick. What do you mean by at just? I wait there. I just typed in. I juicy typed in. Yes, at just. Doctor says, my New Year resolution is to survive the winter. Oh, yeah, I forgot you got. It's been really warm in London today. I had this jacket on. I had to take my scarf and I didn't wear my gloves because it was so warm. And I thought it's the New Year significance that things are going to warm up and brighten up and summer's coming. But we'll see how you go, Doctor. Eat a lot of chilies and spices. That will warm your body up and you won't feel the cold. So it was a really nice warm day today. For Wolf Pup says, for my year's resolutions, I've stopped sharing all my snacks with people. Jerky keeps disappearing. Well, just don't be so, just get some vegetarian friends. then you can have all the jerky to yourself. And Dick says, just sorry, type, that's fine. I totally understood. It's amazing I understood that. She-Wolf says, I have no specific resolution, but it will probably involve coffee. That you'll try to drink good coffee. How's that? Yeah, good quality coffee. Oh, yes. I agree with you. What was I thinking? I don't usually make resolutions because why does it take this time of year that I have to put out a new goal? I can put out a new goal anytime, and I do. It's sticking to it, really. It's vegan jerky. Oh, well, there you go. I can't help you there. Maybe you can tell your friends that, oh, it's just jerky, and they'll make their own minds up. Oh, they probably know you're vegan then. You're eating vegan jerky. Must be really good then. So I don't know about that. Maybe eat the vegan jerky when no one's around. Because I don't want to say don't be generous, because that's limiting yourself with stuff. Because we should always be generous. Because what comes around, what goes around comes. Oh, I've really lost the plot. What goes around comes around. So I can say. So maybe people will be offering you jerky as well soon. Any coffee works. I agree. Do you go into the liqueur coffees if you want to get technical? Actually, I just thought of Vienna coffee. I haven't had Vienna coffee for years. Oh, it is so indulgent. I used to work in a pancake parlor, and they used to serve Vienna coffee. And as some of you might know, or you may not know, Vienna coffee is filtered coffee. And I'm sure you can do it with any coffee, really. And it would be this cream all through it. And it would just be cream on top. And, oh, yeah, I really want a Vienna coffee now. Look what you've done, She-Wolf. Yeah. So I would have really liked the... Vienna coffee. But you can have all these other sorts of coffees, and you could have like liqueur. You could put a coffee with Bailey's in it, or Tia Maria, and they are certain names that you do call them. I can't remember. And sometimes that people do put all that cream on top of those coffees as well. Oh yeah, yeah. And on that note, I think I'll go back to the usual time of 10 o'clock UK next week, because hopefully I won't be out that late. So we'll be back to 10. If there's any changes, you'll see it on the usual outlets, whether it be the YouTube site or my Facebook pages. She-Wolf says, I like Costa Rican coffee. I tried to get a supplier, but so far it's not working out. Well, why not? Costa Rican coffee is general coffee you should be able to get everywhere. I've seen that even in Australia. And I think I've seen it here too. Surely you must be able to. Look on the internet, Amazon. They usually have everything. Probably get it direct. Okay, have a good week, Tom. I will. I've got a busy week, actually. So I don't know if I'll get much done, but I do know I've got a few free days coming up after that. So I will have a good week. Happy New Year, everyone. Have a good year. I'll have a good year and a good week. And thank you for joining me again on this New Year's night, which over here is actually very early New Year's morning. Sheila says, I can get it here. I just wanted it direct. Oh, well, internet it. We may be able to maybe get a good price too. Wolf Up says, enjoy your night. Oh, yeah, guys, enjoy your night as well. Your first dinner of the new year. And a Happy New Year from She-Wolf. Happy New Year too. And Happy New Year to you. Oh, and that's a wrap. Have a good one, Tom. Cheerio. Keep thinking you've been in the film industry, Doctor, when you keep saying have a wrap. And I will. thank you all. It's really appreciative having you here. I really enjoy your company. And I'll see you all next week. Have a good week. Manifest something. And the year's only going to get better. So on that, stay well and happy. Cheerio.